What can FireCAD do for you? FireCAD is an AutoCAD-based program that uses an AutoCAD drawing and a database, and they work together. Let's start this demonstration by showing you some of the productivity features of FireCAD. FireCAD provides a palette. The palette is a place where we can go to access many of the features of FireCAD. Let's double-click the DWG file name to open the project drawing. Here we have an example of a 3-story office building. As we scan through this drawing, we will see that the fire alarm system devices have been placed on the drawing, and each of them is labeled with either an SLC address or a NAC circuit and sequence number. FireCAD uses ordinary AutoCAD blocks with attributes to represent the system device. You will also notice that the devices are shown as being connected with wire paths. These wire paths can represent conduit, cable tray locations, or any other means you wish to represent the connecting links between the devices. In the following section, we'll see some of the powerful and time-saving reports and other features that FireCAD provides. Following that, we'll go back and take a closer look at how FireCAD works. Using FireCAD's report features, let's view a few examples. Reports can be generated as AutoCAD objects or as Excel spreadsheets, and when they're made from AutoCAD objects, they can either be placed on the model space of the project drawing or on a separate drawing. Let's choose a separate drawing. We just generated a device legend report and placed it on the drawing. Now let's generate a battery calculation report. And now, a point-to-point voltage drop calculation. A cable and wire legend. Notice that the cable and wire legend provides the details of each type of cable used on the project, the labels that are associated with those cables, and the total length of each cable used. Now let's take a look at one of the most powerful and productive FireCAD features. FireCAD will automatically generate a riser diagram reflecting the system which has been configured on the project drawing. Our completed riser is now placed on the drawing. Notice that all the connections that have been made on the floor plans are reflected exactly the same way on the riser diagram. Above, you can see the water flow and tamper switches shown as they are connected to the monitor modules. Now that we have seen some of the powerful FireCAD features, let's go back to the beginning and dig into the details. let's take a closer look at how FireCAD works. CADGen FireCAD can be started by double-clicking the CADGen FireCAD icon, which is placed on your desktop when the program is installed. FireCAD is an AutoCAD-compatible product. There are two versions. One version is a standalone. That is, we start with the AutoCAD OEM platform, which includes all of the AutoCAD commands, and then we add the FireCAD-specific shop drawing producing commands to that platform. For owners of the full versions of AutoCAD 2016 or higher, we offer a plug-in version that functions in exactly the same way as the standalone version. In order to see the FireCAD ribbon, we must open an AutoCAD drawing. In this case, we will start by opening a new blank AutoCAD drawing. The first thing you'll notice when you open FireCAD is the FireCAD palette. The FireCAD palette is an essential focal point of using FireCAD. It is where we will see our project, the symbols available to use for the project, and the circuits to connect the devices to. The FireCAD palette can be docked in the AutoCAD window, or it can be placed anywhere else on the Windows desktop, including a second monitor. In this case, we have docked the FireCAD palette on the left edge of the AutoCAD window, and we can see that it has three tabs. Let's look at those three tabs and see what each of them does. The topmost of the tabs on the FireCAD palette is called the project tree. This is where we will keep track of the project we are working with, the files and devices which are part of the project. The tab below the project tree is the device palette. The device palette is the place where we can select devices to be used in our project. We will see more detail on that later. The third tab on the FireCAD palette is the Circuits tab. This is where we will find the circuits we can connect the devices to, and detailed information about the circuits we are currently connecting. Again, we will go into more detail about this tab later in this orientation. The FireCAD ribbon provides 16 panels. Each panel is a collection of commands and functions that we can use in the production of our shop drawing for the system we are designing. We're going to follow these from the left panel, starting at the File panel, and move our way through them. Each of these following slides will show the detailed commands that are available on this panel. We won't dwell on them at this point. We'll just go through them. Later, we will see the functions of many of these panels as we describe the program features. FireCAD works by creating a project. The project includes a .atp file and at least one AutoCAD.dwg file. Both files must be in the same folder. The essence of FireCAD is the synchronization between these two files. FireCAD depends on these two files and synchronizes the data on the drawing with the database for the system that is defined in the project. The synchronized data includes the system components, the system components locations, the system components circuit connections, and more. The database is updated when the changes are made in the drawing, and the drawing is updated when changes are made in the database. FireCAD requires that both files are placed in one folder. However, the folder can be named any Windows-compliant name, and the files can be named any Windows-compliant names. Look at the example below. The command to create a project can be initiated either from the Create Project selection on the File panel of the FireCAD ribbon, or the command to create a project can be initiated from the icon on the FireCAD palette. The Project Creation Wizard guides you through all the steps necessary to create a project. Every project needs a name. Make it a meaningful name because you can use any name you wish. We'll call this one New Project. And now we browse through our Windows file system until we find the file folder that we wish to place our new project in. We select it and come back to the interface of the wizard. Clicking the Connect button and the steps that follow will connect us to the CADGen master database, which is stored on our server online. We will then select the components that we want to use in this project and download only those to our local ATP file, which will be a local copy of the parts we need from the master database. For the server name, we type over the default localDB text and type in cadgen.database.windows.net. Subsequent logins from this computer will not require you to type all of that text in. You will be presented with the memorized text and just select it. Your username will be CGReader. Your password will be uppercase P, lowercase m, 99, uppercase A, C, T, R. If you're in doubt that you typed in the correct password, simply click on the Show Password button eyeball and view and see if you've done it correctly. Otherwise, retype it. All right, now we're almost done logging in. Just click the rotating arrows icon, then make sure that the database you choose is CADGen V2, and then lastly, click the Connect button. Congratulations, we are now connected to the online FireCAD master database, where we have thousands of parts. The parts are organized into profiles, so you may choose only those you need for your project. In the following screens, you will select the profiles representing the type of equipment, manufacturer, product line that you wish to use in this project. Don't worry if you don't get everything you need, because we can always go back after we've created our project and choose more. The local ATP file in our project folder is now being created. Here in the project tree, we can see the name and location of the ATP file which we have successfully created and placed on the local machine. Now here, on the FireCAD device palette, we can scroll through or filter the list of icons available for our use on this project. Remember earlier when we told you that FireCAD synchronizes the DWG file, the AutoCAD drawing, with the ATP file, the project database. The steps that follow here are how we make the connection and tell FireCAD to associate the DWG and the ATP. And now that we have associated the DWG file with the database, we can open the DWG file. There are two ways that we can open the file. We can either use the AutoCAD File Open command, or we can simply double-click the file name that appears in the FireCAD project palette.